Today we're talking about something that affects so many women, menopause. How does menopause impact our life? Then we're going to talk about blended families because mixing kids, exes, schedules, and emotions is not for the weak. And of course, spill it. Let's go. Party's over, my friends.
Externally, I wanted to look a certain way, but internally, I wasn't happy. I've had so many procedures, so many treatments, more than I can count. I started to really focus on doing things for my body that made me feel good. I decided to write my book to share this knowledge, and people have really resonated with it. And that night at 5 in the morning, there's a girl at the front door. I was able to figure out what a narcissist was because I was married to a narcissist.
There's some stuff in there I'm very surprised that you're talking about.
I can spot the red flags now from a mile away. I want the viewers of my show to walk away feeling great about themselves and feeling empowered. I'm going to incorporate my story as well in the show, but I also am very interested in learning about other people's stories.
I love your honesty and your genuineness. That's what makes you so authentic and real and why people want to talk to you.
Watch Party's Over. It's going to be fun, informative. We're going to have a great time. Party's over.
Okay, let's talk about something I wish more women knew about. How your body is changing in midlife. A lot of women feel confused or dismissed. So we brought in someone who can make sense of it. Lisa King is here with us today. Welcome, Lisa.
I'm thrilled to be here, Sandra.
Thank you. And when did you become, can you tell the viewers like a little bit about yourself and when you became a midlife wellness expert?
Well, I've been a pharmacist for 37 years, but when I entered menopause, which when I was 49, I had a hysterectomy, and I just really wanted to share about my own wellness journey. So I started sharing online as the Fulfilled Pharmacist, and I love learning about midlife health, and I just love sharing it with other people as well. So that's probably when I started here about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you were a pharmacist for a long time. And
Yes.
then because of your own journey, you decided to help other women. That's great. And what do we define as midlife? Like what age do you define like the midlife?
Well,
range?
honestly, a lot of people say midlife is 45 to 60. I just turned 60. And whenever I say midlife online, people will say, you're not in midlife anymore. But I think really one of the big things that women think of when they think of midlife is menopause. And most women enter menopause around age 51, 52. So that's another really big marker is menopause, which is right at the beginning of our 50s. But you can start experiencing symptoms even 10 years earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm 43.
Mhm.
And I think this is like a hot topic with my
Yes.
girlfriends that are my age right now. And it's like, is it perimenopause or is it just life? Like, it's the $1,000,000 question with so many symptoms. Like for me, waking up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Like, am I going through perimenopause or something? Am I just stressed? You know?
Well, that brings up a really big point because so many women, when they think of menopause, perimenopause, they just think of hot flashes, weight gain, and there's so many other symptoms, fatigue, poor sleep. Those are usually some of the first things that we see. And I spoke to another lady about your age, and she kept saying, my friends are all telling me I'm too young. It's too young to be perimenopause, but it can honestly start 10 years earlier. And one of the big things is women just don't feel like themselves. That's one of the first things you hear is, I just don't feel like myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, it can definitely be perimenopause.
So everything starts changing anyhow when you reach 40.
Yeah.
We are used to not putting as much effort into our workouts, our diets in our 20s and 30s. We can get away with a lot. But once those things start changing, you have to change with them. Otherwise, you wake up one day and you don't even recognize
And
yourself.
sensitivities.
Yes.
Oh, that's
a
true.
huge one. I feel like before I could go out and have a couple drinks and a big dinner and wake up just fine. And now all of the sudden, it's taking days to recover from that. Like the slightest little thing throws you out of whack.
Exactly. And I found that even for myself, I did DNA testing and I found out that I was gluten and lactose intolerant. And I was just gaining weight and thinking, what is going on here? I'm eating a fairly healthy diet, but it was explained that those things were causing inflammation for me. So same thing, no symptoms at all with dairy. It wasn't like I was having any bloating, anything like that, but I just all of a sudden really became sensitive to dairy and just started gaining so much inflammation and weight just from having dairy in my life.
So what do you do to help your clients in terms of, do you do like holistic testing, or what do you do to help them in terms of like helping with their symptoms?
Personally, I also had a life coaching degree. So, what I did is mostly I work with women who have bladder issues. That's what I've done in the past. Right now, I'm just doing more things online and sharing online, but a lot of it is mindset. So, as you said before, you know, we may things we did in the past may not work now. So I think just really
Right.
being open to making those changes, and also just really celebrating it as a wonderful experience in life. So even though we can have to navigate our health and make these changes, it really is a time that we can take charge of our health, and we have that extra bit of time. Maybe our children are a little bit older and we can make those dietary changes, go to the gym, even take a walk. Even doing one thing a day can be so helpful, and just feeling more like yourself.
100%. Yeah, it's very important at our age now to do weight training and the nutrition part, eating more protein, lymphatic work, like things that you can do that don't require surgery, like holistic, like
Right.
more of a holistic approach.
Yes.
So
and
you're
that's
basically kind of guiding them.
Exactly. And that's what I loved about your book. You offer so many different options. It
Thank you.
doesn't have to be surgery. There's so many things that we can do every day, even, just for our skin, a gua sha or
Right.
red light therapy,
Yeah.
just to feel a little bit more like ourselves, because as you said earlier, our bodies are just changing, our skin's changing, our face is changing. So it really is just important to reconnect with ourselves so that we feel our confident best. I always say that when you feel your confident best, you're more apt to go out and do those goals and dreams, write the book, start the blog, whatever it may be, when you're feeling that confidence.
Yes, 100%.
Speaking of the confidence, I'm going to ask you guys this because I feel like I'm not fully there mentally, but I've talked to a lot of my friends who are about 10 years older than me. And we've talked about how certain things that used to bother them in their 40s, like social situations, things like that, they just stopped caring. And there was something so liberating about that. Is that something you guys have experienced in this postmenopausal journey?
100%. I have.
Absolutely. For me, in the past, being a pharmacist, I'm a type A personality. It was always pushing to that pursuit of perfection, which there is no perfection, getting the good grades, being the best pharmacist I could be. And now it's just about enjoying life. What can I do to spark that joy? And it may be something simple like taking a walk, in nature, whatever it may be. And that is what I'm aiming for now, just what brings joy instead of that pursuit of perfection, which is not even there.
So, in a way, I feel like, I look at menopause and perimenopause is this thing to fear, and you almost look at it like as a death, almost like I can't have children anymore, I can't have this. But maybe we reframe it as women as a whole and celebrate it. Like it's this new chapter that we celebrate, and we have all these freedoms that come along with that.
I celebrated it. Menopause was the
Yeah.
best thing that ever happened to me because I
that's
hated.
amazing, and
Yeah.
I think more women need to do that because I feel like it's this thing everybody's so ingrained in fearing, and it's like the media and movies and stuff like that. It's like like you said, they just show the hot flashes, and it's like you think that life is going to be over after it, but it's actually the opposite. It's like your life's almost re-beginning. It's like a rebirth.
I agree. I feel like this has been the best chapter of my life. And I felt like my 50s were all about navigating my health and rediscovering myself. And now I just turned 60 and I'm like, bring it on. I have so many friends in their 60s and they look fabulous. They're living their best lives. And I'm thinking like, I'm not afraid of this at all. I'm loving this.
You look amazing for 60, by the way.
Thank you.
But I had no idea. I was like, wow, you're so pretty and
Oh, thank
so
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
So how can our viewers reach you? Just on your Instagram, or what's the best way?
Yes. best way, I'm always on Instagram, the Fulfilled Pharmacist. I do have a website, thefulfilledpharmacist.com. There's a lot of information in there, including a 7-day gut reset, inflammation information, all things midlife on there. But yes, Instagram is where I'm always at, so you can always message me there if you have any questions.
No, this is great. It's great information for the viewers because so many of them are in the same, age range, and they always have questions
Yes,
about aging and what to do and what not to
absolutely.
do. So this is great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me,
was
ladies. It
so
was
great.
wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
If this conversation helped you, share it with a friend because women deserve clarity, not confusion. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please leave a review. It helps the show grow. Now, let's shift gears because the next topic isn't about medicine. It's about changes. Let's talk about blended families. Now let's talk about something that impacts a lot of people out there. Blended families, stepchildren, co-parenting, exes, holidays, money, boundaries. It can be a lot. So I'm talking this one through with my friend Veida, who has a blended family.
I do have a blended family, and I have a lot to say about it. I mean, I think that it's something that it's a lot more common these days. I also feel like it's not something like you dream about when you're a little girl. Like, no offense to my blended family, but like you never sit there like playing with your Barbies and you're like, okay, so like this kid from this person and this kid from this person, and we're gonna make this great house together. Like, but life happens and you fall in love with people. And I think in the end, it can be a really great thing. Like, I love my stepchildren. I legitimately do. And I think that it's really great for my daughter to have siblings. So, but that said, I think it's a really long road to get to happy. And I think some people don't get there,
They absolutely don't get there. But when you talk about fantasy versus reality, that's what you're saying. Like when you were young and you're playing with your Barbie dolls, you weren't thinking, oh, I'm going to have a blended family. You were thinking, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids.
And I'm going to have a picket
happily
fence.
ever
Actually, I
after.
never dreamt of a picket fence.
So
Did you dream of a picket fence?
No.
It's because we
Not
grew up
really.
in the sticks.
Yeah.
Like we
No,
already
I
had fences.
didn't have fences.
I wanted like an elevator into like a condo. Like I never wanted a fence.
But I never thought about a blended family, which
Yeah.
it
Would
just
you
never
be
really
open to
occurred.
one now that you're single?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I am going to get married again at some point, and the person that I marry probably will have kids, and I have kids. So yeah, we'll have a blended family, which I'm super, on board with.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times you have to be willing to eat some crow in a blended family. I really, really think that. I think that's one way to survive it is, you might have an opinion about something, but your spouse's ex might have an opinion about something and your spouse might have an opinion about something. And I think like the biggest thing I can say to people who are in a blended family is put yourself in someone else's shoes. Now, I'm also in a unique situation because I'm a stepmother, but I'm also a stepchild. So I think that actually makes me a much better stepmother because I think to myself, how would I want to be treated by my stepfather, who's amazing? Sometimes I like my stepdad better than I like my own mom. Like he's a great guy, And I think that no offense to my mom, I love you so much, mommy. If you're watching, you are my life. I love you. However, I mean, he's a really nice guy, and I think he treats my mom well, And I think it's one of those things where, as an adult, you might have a different opinion of situations than when you were younger.
Yeah, of course. So for your situation, I mean, you've been great. So you've taken on the stepmother role so well because you treat your kid, everybody the same.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
has been amazing from day one.
Everybody
which I've
gets
noticed.
treated equally.
Everybody gets treated equally,
and
which
I think
is great.
that's so important because I think that if you want your children, or say in any capacity, say you're in a situation where you have children and he has children, you want all the children to get along. And if everybody's not treated equally, everybody's not going to get along. In my situation, my husband had children. I did not have children. We had a child together. But there's all different types of blending, right? And I think the biggest thing in it is fairness. Like, you cannot favor one child over the other child. You just can't, because then they're going to resent each other. And even if they're kids, I know plenty of people that have step siblings and half siblings, and they don't talk to them as adults because of like the dynamics from when they were kids, because like one person feels slighted and
Right.
another person feels slighted.
Which is sad, because it
It
shouldn't
is
be like
sad.
that. It should be everybody gets along.
Don't be scared to blend.
Nope.
It's not always fun. It's not always easy, but it can be amazing.
And it works. And now Spill It, our favorite part of the show where we answer your real questions. Here's one that we just got. I'm pregnant at 40 and I do not want to breastfeed. Everyone is shaming me like I'm a really bad mom. I feel guilty, but also clear. Am I wrong?
Oh my
We
God.
love this.
I love talking about this topic. No, you're not wrong. Like, I can't stand these people that push the breastfeeding.
Terrible.
It's so annoying. First of all, let us be clear, fed is fed, right?
Yeah.
Fed is fed. That is the end of the day. Like, if a baby is fed, they are fed. Who cares whether it came from your boob or whether it came from formula? The kid is fed, right? And it's none of anybody's business how you feed them.
It isn't. And I know if you had your baby in the hospital, they're pushing you, they're
Oh,
pressuring
that
you.
little bitch
It's-
at the
it's
hospital.
horrible.
Oh my gosh.
We've
I
delivered
think
at the same
yes.
hospital,
And
and it's
there is
awful.
this woman. I hate this woman. She looks like a nun.
Yes.
Right? This bitch. Sorry. Am I allowed to say that? Because she is. She's like a nun bitch. So she comes in and she literally looks like she's like a is it a hobbit?
A hobbit.
So she comes into the room and I
hobbit.
so I had a conversation with my OBGYN prior, letting her know that I would not be breastfeeding for a number of reasons.
Yes.
That said, she warned me. She said they're going to come into the hospital, and she's like, if you were younger, I would have probably had a different conversation
shame
with
you.
They shame you. And so I was mentally prepared. So this woman comes in, and I was like, oh no, I'm not breastfeeding. She goes, well, don't you want to try? And I'm like, no, I don't want to try. She is going on formula. I am not breastfeeding. It is not something I'm doing. She goes, well, you really need to try. And then she tries to hand me this pamphlet. And I literally looked at her and I said, she is going to be on formula. And then this bitch comes back the next day. And
Again?
Again. She comes and tries again. And she's like, so have you reconsidered? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I have not reconsidered. I am not breastfeeding. My daughter is going to be on formula. And that's the end of the conversation. Like, what's it to you,
It's
lady?
really scary when they do this in the hospital
Yeah.
because they make you feel so bad. And to be honest with you, for the viewers out there, so many women, you can't gauge how much milk or how much nutrition your baby's getting. Because a lot of times they're breastfeeding, but nothing's coming out.
And the
these
kids end
poor
up in
babies
the
lose
ER.
weight.
Kids end up in the
Yeah,
ER over this.
100%.
There are so many people that end up with newborns in the emergency room because they're not producing enough milk, and then they feel like a bad person. Also, rates of postpartum depression are much higher amongst women who breastfed. Not to say breastfeeding is wrong. If you want to do it, by all
That's
means,
fine,
do
but
it.
I still think
But
if you
don't
are
be shamed into doing
But if you
that.
are going to breastfeed, you should supplement with formula as well because your baby's not getting enough
Yeah.
just from your breast milk, I believe. And it's so much better for them to be on a schedule where they're getting fed like every 3 hours. So every 3-4 hours, anybody can feed your baby. Like you don't have to be,
you're not beholden.
you're not beholden to having to pump or having to do this. And also whatever you're eating, your baby's
Exactly.
getting. So
Oh,
your
that's
nutrition
the best. When
has
they're
to be
like,
perfect.
they're like, oh, it's so healthy, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like downing McDonald's. Like, really? You're giving your baby McDonald's? You're telling me that's not better than the formula? Like, come on.
I never understood it. I don't understand breastfeeding. I don't
I
understand
think
why.
it's antiquated. Would you
It's-
go suck on a cow's tit?
Of course not. And then when I see people in public and they're doing it, it's like so uncomfortable. I'll be at dinner and somebody's breastfeeding. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. But I'm against it. She's against it. I think if you don't want to breastfeed, don't breastfeed. It doesn't
If
make
you want to go right
Do it.
ahead, but don't feel the pressure to do it. And also, for your mental health. Like, I am a very OCD person, right? When my daughter was born, I had a little book and I would give it to the nannies, and I would literally write down when she peed, when she pooped, and when she ate, and exactly how much she ate. And I was monitoring it by the hour.
Which is
So
smart.
there is no way I would have been able to do that if I was breastfeeding. I would have no idea how much this kid was eating. And for some people, that would be fine. But for somebody with my personality, that would have spiraled me. I would have lost my mind.
Well, because when you're breastfeeding, it's hard because they're not getting enough in one sitting. And then sometimes you're breastfeeding like every hour.
Yeah.
As opposed to having them on a schedule of every 4 hours. They sleep better throughout the night. They're not up all night trying to find food. And it's just so, I feel like it's so much better. And the formula out there is so good. My son wasn't breastfed. He's super smart.
Yeah.
He's never sick. He's like a genius. So,
in the
and he doesn't have allergies.
In the hospital, one of the nurses, after like the Hobbit lady came in, she goes to me.
It's a habit.
Sorry, I didn't go to Catholic school. So anyway, it's a habit. So the habit lady comes in, and the nurse actually looked at me because she could tell I was like a little upset by her. And she's like, the formula babies always do good. And I'm like, that's right.
They do.
They do.
They thrive.
She was sleeping 4 hours. I never had a night nurse. You know why?
Me neither.
Because I gave her formula.
Yeah.
I didn't
Same
need
here.
one.
Same here. So no, to answer your
And
question,
you know what? The other thing with it, you're like, Zachary's obsessed with you, right?
Obsessed.
Charlotte is obsessed.
it's not
with
like
me.
they didn't bond.
So this whole nonsense that they won't bond with you, let me tell you, my daughter is so obsessed with me. She is bonded with me. There is no question this child is bonded with me.
No question.
So
We believe it's all nonsense. So
yeah,
by all means, don't breastfeed.
unless you want to.
Yeah,
And
unless
then
you want to.
can.
But she's saying she doesn't want
Yeah,
to.
so don't feel any guilt
Yep.
whatsoever.
We love you. Thank you for sending that in. If you've got a question, send it our way because nothing is off limits here. Keep spilling it. If you've loved this episode, share it, subscribe, and drop a review. And don't forget to grab my book, From Bullshit to Botox. Follow me at Sandra Lena Silverman on Instagram for behind the scenes, real talk, and beauty tips that actually work. Here's what I want you to remember. In midlife, you have to advocate for yourself, with your health, with your family, with your boundaries. You don't owe anyone access to your peace. I'm Sandra Silverman, and this is Party's Over. See you next time.